today I'm here as the president of the Société Française du Cancer, and so my speech will be very quick, just to present you in few words what is the French Society of Cancer, the Société Française du Cancer, and what this society can do for you mostly. So it's an association that was founded just a few meters away. It was more than 100 years ago. It was 120 years ago, more or less. And it was founded by researchers and physicians that were working in this field of cancer. And the goal of this society was to exchange, to discuss about cancer, about the new research, the new treatments, and so to have new ideas and to develop new ideas. And so this is the DNA of this society, is to help researchers and physicians discuss together, physicians with physicians, researchers with researchers. And this is what we still do more than 100 years ago, after, as we are doing today. So in few words, what we do, as for now, we help the training of doctors, of residents, of scientists too. We have a journal that is the Bulletin du Cancer, a publication that is in French and is in PubMed. So it's quite useful, especially for the youngest ones. For the residents, it's useful to publish their first MD thesis, but also for papers that focus in French questions, in French health, for instance. We act as experts for different organizations in France, and we promote the exchanges. And this is what can be most important for you, I think, is that you may have some ideas of congresses. You think that there is, you may think that there is a field that is not well known, and you want to build a congress meeting somewhere in France about this field, a workshop. We can help you with money, not with people. So don't hesitate to contact us. Of course, you need to be a member, and then you can ask for help. And we are helping more than 20 congress and meetings every year, something like 25. So don't hesitate. We also have for this year the novelties. One of the novelties that we have an international chair mobility now with Fondation ARC, so we can help. It's already okay for February for the residents and for the doctors. So for the doctors, we are paying for 1 year somewhere in the world for mobility, a postdoc, for instance. And during the year, you will have some chair mobility also for scientists, especially for postdocs, to go somewhere in the world to learn new technology or discover a new field, and then come back to France, because the idea is that it can help the French science. We're sponsoring already 21 for this year conferences. We support the training of the residents, of course. We have some webinars on different subjects. Last webinar was about gender bias in research. It was very interesting. You can find these webinars on YouTube, on our channel on YouTube. We have with Louise Harel Scientific Day today. We have an art contest if some of you have an artistic soul. So don't hesitate to just contact us if you have any idea and looking for money or looking for a network to discuss all across France. And don't hesitate to come with new ideas. The membership is 60 euros, 10 euros for PhD residents and for PhD, for residents and for retired people. And it comes with the membership of EACR. So it's more or less the same price for the EACR. So in one membership, you have both. Okay, now I will call Fatima Mchergoriou, who is the organizer of this meeting today with Daniel Louvard, to present you the topic for today. Merci.
Thank you very much, Manuel. I don't want to take too much time, but I'm really honored to be in front of you today in this journey, and which will be very marvelous thanks to you all guys coming, and I'm really, really honored to be here in memory of Dr. Louise Harel. Then Dr. Louise Harel, we will see that better in more details in a few minutes, but she was a brilliant and very productive scientist in various domains of research, including the role of non-coding DNA in replication and the impact of kinase activities on non-histone chromatin proteins. I have been also very impressed by the fact that she got a master in chemistry and has discovered key biological processes involved in cancer initiation and progression. Then, for me, she has been, let's say, in a certain way, a pioneer in chemical biology dedicated to cancer. And so, as some of you know, this is a subject which occupies me a bit, let's say, in the last weeks, months, and potentially years recently, and together with Raphael, by the way. And I'm really convinced that this is a key discipline which deserves to be really developed in our institute. Then today, and in complete agreement with these interdisciplinary approaches, we are really honored to welcome key opinion leaders, scientists recognized all over the world, and we will speak about various aspects of heterogeneity and plasticity of tumor landscape, and thank you all for coming. And before we begin, I would like to give the floor to Daniel, Professor Daniel Louva, who will discuss a bit more about the subject of today.
Thank you. I'm glad to see many people already, early in the morning. Well, not so early after all. And thanks to all the speakers who actually traveled to be with us for this day, this Memorial Day, in the honor of Louise Harel. And as one of the oldest in the room, probably, I'd like to have some reflection about, I've seen growing the field of cancer research, but the field of biological and life sciences growing over the years with great amazement and satisfaction. What I would like to say is to give a few comments or reflection about the title itself, Heterogeneity and Plasticity of Tumors Landscape. And I think that the topics related to heterogeneities of tumors and their plasticity are not recent per se. But now, in contrast to the past decades, this issue can take advantage and can lead to detailed analysis and also molecular mechanisms that actually are behind the scenes or are contributing to these cellular processes. Well, thanks indeed to the NGS technology, high-resolution imaging, single-cell analysis, spatial temporal genomics, as it is called today, and other fields of research. The concept of cell plasticity was, I would say, intuitively discussed long ago, but it was hard to prove because lack of experimental design and technology allowing to actually carry on that analysis. And the cell heterogeneity of tumors has been years after years demonstrated step by step by researchers. But one has to recognize that some views, including some dogmatic views during decades about the molecular mechanism underlying cell differentiation, gave no room for no room to reversion or reversible program about cell differentiation. This has changed. However, meanwhile, the adaptation of malignant cells to their tissue environment remains a major hurdle to fight against cancer and is now a subject of numerous research and a number of you will actually illustrate during these days this adaptation and as well as the heterogeneity. There have been controversies. Sometimes controversy can be deleterious, but I think the controversy about the cell of origin of tumors have opened over the years constructive new avenue for new research venture. This idea or this research project are taking into account not only the plasticity of tumor cells, but also some adaptation and plasticity of non-malignant cells surrounding the primary tumors. We know that genetic alterations, as well as epigenetic factors, are indeed now taken into consideration to account for tumor growth and dissemination leading to the metastasis, which in my view and the view of many is indeed one of the things we still don't control and don't fully understand, in contrast to the cancer tumor progression and the initiation of the malignant state. Of course, this is a result of the use of new technology to analyze the complexity of tumors and their environment, including bioinformatics, and as everybody knows, the good use of artificial intelligence. Indeed, our distinguished invited speaker to this Journée, Louise Harel, will illustrate, I believe, how tumor cells are dependent of normal cells in the surrounding tissues and how they drive the organization and the differentiated state of immune cells, mesenchymal cells, and endothelial cells surrounding the tumors, the malignant cells. Hence, I trust that a multidisciplinary approach to explore the complexity of tumors will be tremendously helpful to fight against cancers. Thank you for your attention. And now I think it's Annick Harel will speak about Louise Harel.
So you may wonder who was this Louise Harel, by whom the meeting is named. So I will tell you a few words. It happens that she's my mother, so it's why I know her a little bit, and I can talk about her. She was born in Algeria in 1925, and at this time Algeria was France, actually, so she was French. And she was very precocious, as she's got her first diploma as a 9-month-old baby, as she was elected as the most beautiful baby in Algiers. And you can check that it was the case. She was very beautiful. Her second diploma was the baccalaureate, and that was thanks to her father's medals during First World War, because she was able to stay in school in 1942 at a time when all Jews were ejected from schools, from all schools. But due to this medal, she was able to stay in high school and to get her baccalaureate. Now the family, it was a family of 5, and was very poor actually at this time, because her father, which had a small company, was forced into bankruptcy after 1929 crisis. And he took a small job in an office, and had very little money. So all the family and all the friends say that she should learn typewriting and find a job to support the family and to support the education of her 2 brothers, of course. But she decided otherwise. She decided that she's going to move to Paris and start her studies, and she's supported her studies by working full-time as a high school teacher. And she finally got her third diploma, which was a PhD in chemistry at the Sorbonne University. Now she had a choice. She was offered 2 jobs. First one was in the Renault French car factory, very famous French car factory. She was offered a job as a chemist to design paints. And at the same time, she was offered a job as a scientist in a CNRS lab. Now, in Renault, the salary was very high, and in CNRS was very low. But she decided to go to CNRS. And she actually switched to biology and joined the Cancer Research Institute in Villejuif, where she met my father. And she actually made very important discoveries during her career. In 1971, she made the first observation of non-coding RNA in mammalian cells. You can see the paper down there, Homology of Double-Stranded RNA from rat liver cells with cellular genome. And we all know, of course, now the importance of these double-stranded RNAs. In 1976, as Fatima mentioned, she was the first one to discover kinases in chromatin. And, of course, we know the importance of these kinases in cell biology. Finally, in the early 80s, she moved from chromatin to signal transduction and growth factors. And she got interested in the control of cell proliferation. And she made her last discovery, which was IGF-BP1, an inhibitor of IGF, which also importance is not to be demonstrated. It is at this time that she created a meeting, a monthly meeting, which was called the Club des Facteurs de Croissance. And it was created with the instrumental support of the French Cancer Society. The club was meeting every year, so it was not monthly, but every year. So early on, the meeting was really focused on growth factors. But pretty soon, the scope was broadened, and the meeting started to cover all sorts of different topics, all related to cancer. She died in 2016, and in 2018, the board of the French Cancer Society decided to name this meeting by her. So it's now the Journée Louise Harel. So I would like to welcome you to this meeting, and I hope you will enjoy the science. Thank you for your attention.